Oh my gosh, it was 23 degrees Fahrenheit. That's minus 5 degrees centigrade this morning outside. It was cold. Who turned on the cold faucet? Hi and welcome to Aegis Runner. I'm Ralph. Boy, winter's coming. I can feel it in the air. So I thought today I would share with you some of my favorite winter running tips. There's no reason you can't enjoy running all year round. Don't let the cold stop you. Use some of these tips to help you get out there in the wintertime and enjoy that favorite sport of running. And if at any time during this video you'd like to subscribe, if you're not a subscriber, please just click that subscribe icon down in the corner. Thank you so much. So as I said, I enjoy running year-round, especially in the winter. In the wintertime, running can actually seem a little easier. Why is that? Well, in the summertime, our body's trying to maintain cooling. So it's sending a lot of blood to the surface of our body to sweat and get that cooling. In the wintertime, we don't need to quite sweat as much. The body doesn't have to work as hard at cooling itself, so the blood supply can stay closer to our core, and more of that blood can go to our muscles to help power our running and make our running maybe seem a little easier. So my first tip is dress so you're chilly at the beginning of your run. We always feel cold when we go outside. Now there's a reason if you're an older runner like me, we might notice the cold more is because of our physiology. That we have a layer of fat under our skin. Everybody has it. I'm not saying you're fat. There's just a layer of fat there. It's part of the body's insulation. But as we get older, that fat layer gets thinner. That's why older people tend to feel the cold more. But when you go out for a run, you want to feel chilly. If you're not chilly when you start your run, you're probably overdressed. You're going to get really hot and maybe overheated during your run. Now, a little advice here is the shorter your run, the more you can dress. In other words, the more layers you can put on, because you're not going to get as hot as, say, a long run. For a long run, you really want to watch number of layers and how thick they are, because you don't want to get overheated. So be chilly to start of your run. Now, my next tip is wear a hat. Now, you always hear this expression that we lose most of our body heat through the top of our head. Well, that's wrong. That's just a myth. The reason you want to wear a hat is to control the evaporation of sweat. We sweat on our head, and if you have no hat up there, maybe just wearing an earband or earmuffs, you are going to lose heat because of the cooling and the evaporation of the sweat. So wear a hat. Make sure it's something that absorbs that sweat, whether it's wool or polyester running hat. Make sure you got something to absorb that sweat to minimize that evaporative cooling on the top of your head. So tip number 3 is don't forget about wind chill. When you dress in your layers, your outer layer should be something that kind of blocks the wind, whether it's fleece or some type of really tight polyester. Something that will block that wind if it's breezy out. If it's not breezy out, obviously that's less of a concern, but don't forget about that wind chill. So my next tip is don't run below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 18 degrees centigrade. That's my personal rule of thumb. You get too cold out and you're risking frostbite and hypothermia, and I've kind of drawn the line at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Doesn't mean you can't run colder. Doesn't mean you can't draw a line a little higher, maybe 10 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever's important to you. But you ought to have a limit that you don't want to go below, because you know your body, you don't want to risk frostbite, hypothermia, and also when your muscles are cold, you're more prone to injury. So running when it's really cold is just not a good idea. So my next tip deals with our face. You know, you can wear a mask. I always find if I wear a mask when I run, my glasses fog up really bad. But you still want to protect some of your face from like frostbite or frost nip. A couple things you can do is apply a little Vaseline to your nose, your cheeks, or use something like Body Glider. I have Gold Bond friction defense. Put a little bit of that on your nose and your cheeks. That kind of gives a little more protection against that frostbite or you know, burning your cheeks from the cold. So my next tip is be sure to wear reflective gear, either on your body, your jacket, your running shorts, whatever. Especially if you run either in the dark or in the dusk or right before sunrise. You really want to be visible, because it's really, you know, there's more darkness in the wintertime and you really want to stay visible. So wear something reflective, or better yet, wear lights. Some kind of lights on your body, just so you're really visible out there in those dusky hours. So the next tip also deals with those cold winter winds, and that is start your run into the wind and finish with the wind into your back. Why is that? Well, in your run, you're going to be really sweaty, got a lot of sweat on you, and running with the wind into your face, you're really going to feel that evaporative cooling. You could feel really chilly and just maybe not finish your run because you get too cold. So kind of finish with the wind at your back if that's possible. This next tip is especially important if you're an older runner, and that is don't run in the snow and the ice. You don't want to risk a fall, especially as an older runner. But if you do insist on running in the snow or the ice, get some kind of traction on your shoes, like Yak Tracks, which are cleats. I have a pair of Saucony Ice that I wear. No, I don't run in the snow, but sometimes you're out running in the street. Maybe there was a snow not long ago and the streets are clear, but you'll come across a section that's got some snow on it. And so that's why I like to wear the Saucony Ice. It just gives me a kind of low level of comfort, but avoid running in anything that might cause you to fall, especially if you're an older runner. So my next tip is remember to stay hydrated. Even though it's wintertime, you still need hydration. In fact, in the cold, our sense of thirst diminishes a little bit. So it's really important, even though you don't feel like you're sweating as much, you still are sweating, you're still burning up and using your water reserves in your body. Maintain your hydration levels even in the cold. So my last tip is when you're done, you need to get inside warmth pretty quick or get some warm clothes on pretty quick because you are sweaty. And in the cold, that evaporative cooling is going to take over really fast. You don't want to risk chilling or even hypothermia in a severe case. So get inside quickly, get some warm liquids in you, and get out of your sweaty clothes and get into dry clothes as quickly as you can. Hey, thanks again for watching. I really hope you learned something today. If you like this video, scroll down there and hit that like icon. And while you're at it, if you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe icon also. I'd love to have you around a little longer, share with you some of my running insights and tips and experiences that I have. Thank you so much again for watching, and happy running.